Call the October 11th, 2023 City Council regular meeting to order. Would everyone please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Carey,
Present.
Chilson,
Present.
Hutchings. Here. Nelson,
Present.
Parker,
She has requested an excused absence.
Wackler,
Present.
Cassidy.
Here.
You have a quorum.
Thank you. Next item on the agenda is the approval of the agenda and consent agenda. May I have a motion to approve the agenda and consent agenda? Ms. Hutchings.
I make a motion to approve the agenda and consent agenda as presented.
Second, please. Thank you, Mr. Carey. Are there any changes to the agenda or consent agenda? Would the clerk please read the consent agenda?
Ordinance 2023-031, increasing estimated revenues and appropriations by $69,500 in the Homeland Security Grant Fund for a grant received from the State of Alaska Division of Homeland Security and Emergency Management for the purchase of a virtual reality firearms training simulator sponsored by the city manager, hearing on October 25, 2023. Resolution 2023-027, certifying the results of the October 3rd, 2023 regular election sponsored by the city clerk. Action memorandum 2023-027, approval of an AMCO restaurant designation permit for Buckets North Inc. Sponsored by the city council or city clerk. That is your consent agenda.
Are there any public comments on any of the items just read by the clerk? For those participating through Zoom, please raise your hand if you would like to comment. App users by pressing the raise your hand button, and phone participants by dialing *9 on your telephone. Is there anyone here in the audience wishing to speak on the? I see none. And looking at Zoom, I see no hands raised on Zoom. Having no one wishing to speak, the approve of the agenda consent agenda is back before the council. Are there any council objections to approving the agenda and consent agenda? Seeing none, the agenda and consent agenda are approved by unanimous consent. The next item in the on the agenda is swearing in of newly elected members, and the city clerk will now give the re-elected officials their oath of office.
Where would you like me to do that?
Well, we'll do right over here in front.
Okay.
And who would you like?
I need you, I need Dan, and I need raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name. Do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
That I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the laws of the state of Alaska,
the laws of the state of Alaska,
and the laws and ordinances of the city of Soldotna,
and the laws and ordinances of the city of Soldotna.
and I will faithfully and impartially
And I will faithfully and impartially
perform and discharge my duties
perform and discharge my duties
as a council member,
as a council member,
as a mayor,
As a mayor,
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
Congratulations.
It was the looking great. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, moving on to the next agenda item is, well, congratulations to both Ms. Wackler and Mr. Nelson. So now we'll move on to the next item. Public comments and presentations. Are there any members of the public who would like to speak on any item not appearing on the agenda? For those participating through Zoom, please raise your hand if you would like to comment. App users by pressing the raise your hand button, and phone participants by dialing *9 on your telephone. And is there anyone here in the audience wishing to speak on any item not appearing on the agenda? Seeing none, we'll take a look at Zoom, and I see no hands raised there. So we will now move on to the next agenda item, which is Assembly and Legislative Report. Are there any representatives from the borough or the state in attendance who would like to speak? I see none here in the audience, and I see none on Zoom. So moving on to the next agenda item is public hearings, testimony limited to 3 minutes per speaker. And that first one will be ordinance 2023-029, providing for amendments to Soldotna Municipal Code chapters 2.04 City Council and 17.10 zoning codes to align with the City of Soldotna Public Engagement and Communication Policy, introduced by the city manager. May I have a motion to enact? Mr. Carey,
I move the enactment of ordinance 2023-029.
may I have a second? Ms. Hutchings, thank you. Report from the administration.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. As you stated, that this ordinance aligns with the Soldotna Public Engagement and Communication Policy and amends the code to align with it. From the Planning and Zoning side, Commission side of things, I would ask Mr. Zarneski if he has any comments regarding the Planning Commission resolution.
Thank you. As stated, this is an effort to align the planning commission's noticing with the councils based on the public engagement communication policy that was adopted by you back in May. And the purpose of that policy was to ensure proper noticing, public participation. And at their meeting, it was at the planning commission meeting was unanimous consent or a unanimous vote to approve the resolution and to follow the policy guidelines. And so with that, or with your approval, then noticing would be provided the same way that the council does. So that'd be by website, Facebook, bulletin boards, newspaper when required, either by our code or by state statutes, and direct mail to people who would be within a certain distance of whatever the hearing might be about. And that is all I've got from the planning commission.
Thank you. The next item, are there any members of the public who wish to speak on this item? For those participating through Zoom, please raise your hand if you would like to comment. App users by pressing the raise your hand button, and phone participants by dialing *9 on your telephone. Seeing no one in the audience wishing to speak on this item, we'll take a look at Zoom, and I see no hands raised in Zoom. Having no one wishing to speak, the item is back before the council. Are there any council comments? Seeing none, we'll call for the vote.
Wackler,
Yes.
Chilson,
Yes.
Nelson,
Yes.
Carey,
Yes.
Hutchings,
Yes.
Cassidy.
Yes.
You have 5 yes votes.
Thank you. Ordinance 2023-029 passes on a 5-0 vote. Moving to the next item on the agenda is ordinance 2023-030, accepting grant funds from the State of Alaska Department of Natural Resources, Division of Forestry and Fire Protection, and increasing estimated revenues and appropriations by $470,000 in the Parks and Recreation Capital Project Fund for spruce bark beetle mitigation and hazard fuel reduction, introduced by the city manager. May I have a motion to enact? Ms. Hutchings.
I make a motion to enact ordinance 2023-030, accepting grant funds from the state of Alaska, Department of Natural Resources, Division of Forestry and Fire Protection, and increasing estimated revenues and appropriations by $470,000 in the Parks and Recreation Capital Project Fund for spruce bark beetle mitigation and hazard fuel reduction.
May I have a second, please? Mr. Carey, thank you very much. Report from the administration.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Zarneski has worked hard on this, and I'm going to turn it over to him for comments.
Thank you. So you might recall that Soldotna received earlier a $200,000 grant from the Division of Forestry. No match was required on that, and we used those funds to begin or to conduct work out at the end of West Redoubt Avenue, the city-owned property there. We completed the work there. We had a little bit of money left, and we were running short on time because the snow was melting and the ground was getting soft. And we were able to do about 5 acres of additional work at Centennial Campground. So when that concluded this spring, we looked at what remained in the budget, which was about $45,000, and the work that we still had said we wanted to do, which included Centennial Campground, Swiftwater Campground, and the airport. And we contacted Forestry and asked them if it would be possible to amend our grant and extend our grant. And they asked us to submit a proposal. We requested just over $500,000. And we also requested that we add Parker Park into the list of areas to clear. And they responded in August with a $470,000 grant. Again, no match required. And they extended us to June of 2025 to complete the work. Again, no match. And as soon as we have your blessings, we will go out to bid and start getting people in line to do the work. And that's the end of the staff report.
Thank you for your report. Are there any members of the public who wish to speak on this item? For those participating through Zoom, please raise your hand if you would like to comment. App users by pressing the raise your hand button, and phone participants by dialing *9 on your telephone. Is there anyone here in the audience wishing to speak on ordinance 2023-030? Seeing no one, I'll take a look at Zoom, and I see no hands raised there. Having no one wishing to speak, the item is back before the council. Are there any council comments? I do have one quick one for Mr. Zarneski. Is there any possibility that sometime in the future, there would ever be grants available to assist private property owners here in town to remove some of the trees that they may not be able to afford to do?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We continue to look for those opportunities, knowing that our residents continue to have trees in my neighborhood alone. I've seen trees come down on sheds on my neighbor's place. And so we continue to look, and if we do find something, we'll pursue it. But as of today, we haven't seen anything for individual use.
Yeah. Thank you. Any other comments? Seeing none, we'll call for the vote.
Hutchings,
Yes.
Wackler,
Yes.
Chilson,
Yes.
Nelson,
Yes.
Harry,
Yes.
Cassidy.
Yes.
You have 5 yes votes.
Thank you. Ordinance 2023-030 passes on a 5-0 vote. Moving on to the next agenda item is mayor and council reports. My report is attended the Historical Society Convention Conference that they held here last weekend. Very informative. I had the opportunity to speak in front of them for a short period of time. And like I said, I think some of my grandkids consider me a historical artifact. So I kind of fit right into that thing. So the other thing is this week, not this weekend, I believe on the 20th, the Challenger Center will be holding a fundraiser at the Challenger Center, a dinner and auction that'll be taking place there. And then on the October 21st will be the Soldotna Chamber Pie Auction, which will be held out at the Sports Center, and everyone's welcome. Next, Fieldhouse groundbreaking ceremony is scheduled for Friday, October 20th, 2023 at 4 p.m. at the Soldotna Sports Complex parking area. So we'll see you all there. Hopefully the weather will be sunshiny. I'm not going to look for warm, but at least the sun shining. So next on the agenda item is council reports on boards and commission. Planning and Zoning Commission meeting, October 4th, 2023, and that was by Vice Mayor Parker, and she's not here tonight, but provided everyone with a written report. I did attend that meeting also, so if there's any questions, feel free to ask. Seeing none, we'll move on to the next item on the agenda, the city manager's report.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just want to report that the departments are in the process of getting ready for winter and going through their winter preparation processes so that when the snow does come,
We don't want to use that word.
okay, so when an winter event happens, they're ready. So I also wanted to congratulate Mr. Nelson, Ms. Wackler, and Mayor Whitney on your election,
Thank you.
re-election.
And that's it.
That's it.
Any questions for the city manager? Seeing none, we'll move on to the next item is public comments. Members of the public will have 3 minutes to comment. Is there anyone from the public who wishes to comment? Anyone in the audience wishing to comment on anything? Seeing none, I'll take a look at Zoom and I see no hands raised there. Next item on the agenda is council comments, and we will start out with Ms. Wackler.
I have no comments today. Well, I guess, thank you for your congratulations on this election, and I look forward to serving the city of Soldotna.
Mr. Nelson.
I'll echo that. I want to thank everyone who came out and voted, and I'm certainly looking forward to another term. And I certainly also want to congratulate Mr. Dominic. It was a very good election and a good campaign, and I thank him for raising his hand and putting his name in, which is not an easy thing to do. So that's all I have tonight.
Thank you. Mr. Noble. Mr. Noble Cassidy.
All right.
I'll get it.
Okay, so I comprised a miniature report, so I'm not stumbling through all the information, although I'm sure I'm going to forget something. At So High, a bunch has been going on. October is a busy month for everybody, and September too. So first and foremost, the junior class has decided a lot of the big details for prom. It's going to be held on the 13th of April next year. The theme is going to be Old Hollywood. It had to be voted on 3 separate times. We sent out an original vote of 3 categories, and then the next one of the same one, but only with 2, because the theme Old Hollywood and Masquerade Ball were within 0.1% of each other in the vote. And then we sent out a third one finally. And again, they were within 0.1%. And so the student council was like, you know what? We're not going to listen to the voting numbers. And so we just picked which one we thought would be easier. Yeah, I liked the Masquerade Ball idea, but Old Hollywood is cheap and easy. So that's what we went with. We are getting some decorations figured out. I don't know how many of you heard, but last year after prom, half of our curtains, or is either half or all. Anyways, a ton of our curtains were stolen. We have 2 Safeway shopping carts in the school. Don't know how they got there. I don't question it. We use it to ride through the hall sometimes. But we mostly use those to transport our curtains around. And after the last dance last year, one of them was just gone. We looked all over the school for it twice, and I think they even checked out in the shed outside the school, and yeah, so they were nowhere to be found. I did, however, find a fountain that was just in a massive plywood box in the school. Nobody knows where that came from either. It's about this tall from the ground. So that would have played into one of our themes, but I guess we can't use that anymore. Next up, also on the theme of dances, the Halloween dance put on by the sophomore class is going to be held on the 25th, the 25th of this month. So that'll be fun. Other topics we've got, our cross-country team went to state last week. Our girls team, the whole team qualified. They overall got 6th with 2 of our girls in the top 20. Tania Boonstra got 6th. And this is for Division 1 girls. And Catherine DeBartoleben got 17th, which is pretty good. The swimming and football championships are coming up within the next month and a half. Our wrestling season has already started. They're really looking to win state this year. They were beat by South last year and they were really mad about it. Skiing and basketball, those seasons are coming. A bunch of my peers are excited for that because those really help get a lot of the youth through the winter because I don't know if they're bored, they don't have enough homework or something. Most of the juniors and sophomores have taken the PSAT, so I'm excited to see how our school compares to the nation in those scores. We just had the college and career fair today over at the college, and so a bunch of our students are starting to look at options after high school or even during high school. Beyond that, I'm excited that the field house is underway. I personally really look forward to its completion, even though it's going to take a while. But yeah, that concludes my comments.
You might want to check with Safeway. Maybe they reclaim their cart. Then that's where your curtain's at.
They're ours now.
Okay. Yeah, let's see. Where are we going to go next? Mr. Carey.
I'll just say, please pray for world peace.
Mr. Chilson,
No comment.
Ms. Hutchings.
Well, I just want to say it's nice that we've got our council here and we don't have to take a new picture this year.
Yep.
And congratulations to everybody. Good evening.
See, I think I got everybody, didn't I? Good. We will now move on to the next agenda item, which is executive session. There is no need for one tonight. Next one is meeting announcements. The October 16th, 2023 Library Advisory Board meeting has been canceled. And October 25th, 2023 regular city council meeting is at 6 p.m. And just another reminder is the field house groundbreaking will be Friday, October 20th at 4 p.m. Seeing no other items on our agenda, we are adjourned.